Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria Montefusco and I'm a lover of all things when it comes to makeup, beauty, fragrance, and all of that fun stuff. And today, as you may be able to tell, I am not wearing any eyeshadow, lipstick, I have bake underneath my eyes, so that must mean it's an eyeshadow palette video. So this is the palette I am testing today. This is the Indigo ink palette from Menagerie Cosmetics. Personally, I had never tried Menagerie Cosmetics before purchasing this palette. They've been on my list for a really long time. I believe they were on my list of brands I want to try in 2021 that I posted earlier this year at the beginning of 2021 or at the end of 2020. I'm not sure when I posted that video. But I'm like, this palette has a beautiful color story. I've always wanted to try this brand. So therefore, I thought I would purchase it and shoot a video for you all. So I've used this palette twice already. Today, I'm going to be using the remaining colors that I haven't used before. So if you're interested in seeing a tutorial, seeing my impressions of those shades I haven't used before, seeing some swatches, and also getting a review of the Indigo ink palette, then please keep on watching. All right, so as always, I will prime my eyes, and my tried and true eyeshadow primer is this Milani eyeshadow primer. So I'm gonna apply this onto my eyes, and then we will start digging into some mattes. All right, so primer is on, and now I want to show you all what this palette looks like. So this is the color story. We have blues, oranges, reds, and greens. I think it's really gorgeous, and the shades that I've tried so far, I've enjoyed. I will say though that some of these blues do stain. Did not have that problem with the reds and the oranges and the yellow and all of that, but ooh, those blues really do stain. So I have a feeling I'm gonna get some staining today when I swatch and when I also use some of these shades on my eyes, just because there was some pretty bad staining. So we're gonna get started, and I'm going to start off with the shade Tide Pool, which is this shade right here. It's like a very light blue. It's really pretty, and I'm gonna go in with a reference number 15 in order to do that. So I'm just gonna put that all in my crease, just fluffing that everywhere, and yeah, we'll see how that turns out. Ooh, this is definitely pigmented like the other blues that I've used in this palette. That is for certain. Yeah, it builds up nicely. It blends a little bit, which is okay. When I use brighter colors, I'm not as worried about the blend sometimes, just because like I don't have blue eyelids anyways. So, you know, it's not supposed to look like natural, but it is blending. Okay, yeah, that was pretty quick, but I'm pretty happy with how my right eye turned out. So let's just make sure I can get the left eye to match. And there's not a lot of fallout I've noticed with these mattes. Like, I normally do my eyes first, and I didn't experience a lot of fallout when I did that, and today I did my face first. And again, not experiencing really any fallout. I'm just doing my normal technique, which is pick up a lot in the brush, tap off the excess, and go to town. And I don't really see any fallout, so that is good. All right, so that's it for my crease. I like how this turned out. And now I'm gonna go into Inky Torpedo, which is this dark blue on the corner of the palette. And I'm gonna go in with a packer brush. And I think I'm gonna use my reference number 28 in order to do that. We're just gonna put this on the outer corner. I'm doing a very blue themed look today, if you haven't noticed. Yeah, this is packing on. It's definitely buildable, which I like in matte formulas. And now I'm gonna blend that out with the reference number 15. So just trying to make that dark blue a little less harsh. And that is working. It is definitely becoming less harsh. And just gonna go back into Inky Torpedo, that shade I use on my outer corner, just to emphasize the very, very end of where I previously placed that shade. I like kind of an ombre effect where it fades from like blended to more intense. So this is the way that I normally do that. So I think that looks really good for the mattes on my upper lid. So now I'm going to go into some glitter glue. Going to take my handy dandy Too Faced glitter glue. This seems to be like a never ending tube. Like I've had this for probably a year and a half or 2 years. I'm not even sure if they make this anymore. I can't even find it on the Sephora website anymore. But I've had this for so long and it just keeps going and going and going. I thought it would be out a long time ago, but there's still stuff left in here. It's amazing how long this lasts. But anyways, I'm going to apply this onto my lids, and then we're very quickly going to apply the metallics just because I want to make sure that they stick to the glitter glue. All right, so we're very quickly going to move into some metallics. So I'm going to go into Giant Pacific, which is this dark metallic blue, and then Ink Defense, which looks like a blue to like purpley duochrome. So I'm going to blend these onto my lid, these two metallics. Wow. That is like a dark sapphire blue metallic. That is really pretty, but I bet it's gonna stay. Ooh. Oh wow. This Ink Defense shade is stunning. Oh my gosh. This is so beautiful. Ooh. Ooh. Man, this look might be worth the staining. Wow. Look at how stunning that looks on my eyes. This is absolutely gorgeous. Oh my goodness. I am in love with these two metallics. They really make the look. So now I'm gonna dust off my bake and then we will move on to the lower lash line. So I think I'm gonna take Pygmy, which is this red color, this dark, like medium-ish red matte. I'm gonna put that onto my lower lash line. And I'm just gonna use this like small packer brush. This is the Real Techniques shading brush. I think that's what it's called. The writing's wearing off on it. This shade I have used before in another look, and I really did enjoy it. I love a good red matte. And then I think I'm gonna take a little bit of Ink Floyd, which is this like neonish, like orangey, peachy shade, and I'm gonna go in that with another Real Techniques brush. This is called the Essential Crease brush, and we're just gonna blend out that red on the lower lash line just a little bit. All right, so that's the lower lash line. I think it looks pretty cool to have that contrast between the red and the blue. All right, and now I'm gonna do my inner corner. So I'm gonna go into the shade Nori, which is like a yellow, greeny, kind of grungy color. I wore this in my inner corner yesterday and I really loved how it looked. So I'm just gonna pop this into my inner corner again. I love a good like yellow inner corner. So I feel like this is similar, but like just a bit grungier, dirtier, green, like makes it a bit more interesting than just like a plain yellow, you know? And by the way, I used a Refer number 26 pencil brush in order to do that. And then last but not least, I want to go into my brow bone. So obviously there are no metallics that are light enough in this palette, so I'm going to reach into some of my singles. I have this palette of Tara Moon's Iridescent Chameleons with also some similar shades from Glaminatrix that I don't really like as much, but I'm going to go into one of these Tara Moon shades. Which one am I gonna choose? I'm not sure. I think I'm gonna go into this one. So this shade is called Zero Gravity, and I think I'm gonna go into that into my brow bone. It's like a purpley, bluey kind of shade. Oh yeah, look at that like electric purple. That looks so cool. Today's definitely a bolder look. That is for certain. And you may be wondering, Victoria, where are you gonna wear a look like this? And actually, I'm going to be going to the movies for the first time, you know, since like early 2020. So I'm going to see James Bond, No Time to Die. I'm a huge James Bond fan. It's like my favorite movie franchise of all time. I own a lot of them on DVD. I've seen, I think, every single James Bond movie at least once. So I'm a huge fan. I've been waiting for this movie for forever. So I'm super, super excited. So I'm going with a friend. I know it's like casual, but I'm still excited, and you know, there's not a lot of excuses for me to like dress up and wear crazy makeup anymore. So I'm excited, and therefore, you know, I was like, you know what, just gonna go crazy with the eyeshadow. So this is it for the eyes. Off camera, I'm going to apply some mascara and also some lip, and then I will be back on to give you my overall thoughts as well as some swatches. All right, so this is the final look. I added mascara and eyeliner and also some lipstick. So overall, I do really enjoy the Indigo ink palette. I think the matte formula is really nice. It's buildable, it's pigmented, it blends easily. I think it's really nice to work with. The metallics are a really stunning formula. They're a bit softer to the touch, but they're not so flaky that they're gonna, you know, have a lot of fallout over your face. And the same can be said for the mattes. Not really a lot of fallout as long as you tap off your brush, which is really nice, especially for like blues and things like that. But the metallics can stain as well as some of the mattes. The blues just stain. Just keep that in mind. When I removed my eyeshadow on Friday, that's the first day that I wore this palette, I had blue staining all over my eyes. When I applied the metallics to my eyes, I had blue staining on my fingers all day. The blues stain. So just keep that in mind. Maybe with a eyeshadow base, they won't really stain on your eyes, but if you're using an eyeshadow primer like I do, which is a bit thinner in formula and it shows up as clear on your eyes, you're probably gonna get staining. So I normally don't have issues with staining. This is just the reality for this palette. I still think it's really nice, but it's not perfect because of the staining. But overall, I do really enjoy the formulas. All the looks that I've gotten with it are stunning. I will pop up those looks on the screen now so you can see what else I've done with this palette. Also, the two videos I posted before this, which is the Charlotte Tilbury Nudegasm face palette review and also the Lancome Fragrance Smackdown, and those two videos I am wearing this palette. So if you want to see more of what that palette looks like, you know, except for the brow bone shade, of course, because I used my Terra Moon singles for that, then you can see that video too to see what more of those like reds and oranges look like on the eyes. So with that, that's my review, and now we're gonna get into some swatches. So I've accepted my fate. I know this is gonna stain my hands and my fingers, but we're gonna roll with it. So I'm just going to go, I think I'm gonna go column by column actually, just because I feel like that's a better color story than row by row. So I'm gonna start off with Shell Yeah, which is this just like orangey peachy metallic. Then I'm gonna go into Nori, which is that yellowy green that I got my inner corner. Then I'm gonna go into Ink Floyd, which is that really vibrant coral shade. So I'm just gonna swatch these onto my hand. So that's what the first three shades look like. I think it's really, they swatch nicely. They really perform well on the eyes, so no complaints at all with any of the shades in the palette. Oh yeah, there's definitely some staining from Nori on my finger. So the greens stain too. It's not just the blues, it's also the greens. So next I'm gonna go into Small Spaces, which compared to Tide Pool, I would say Small Spaces is a bit more gray in base and a bit greener. It's like a soft pastel green. So Small Spaces. Then I'm gonna go into Squid Pro Crow, which is like a green to orange kind of duochrome. Yeah, it's like a green to orange. It's really, really cool. And then I'm gonna go into Chromatophore. I think that's how you pronounce it. And this one is just really cool. It's like a blue to green to like purple. It's a really cool shade. Ooh, Small Spaces does not swatch well, but it does look nice on the eyes, I will say. All right, so those are the first two columns of the palette. And I have to say the metallics in here for me are a standout. I love the metallic formula. Even though they stain, I do think they're really pretty. Yeah, like look at this. Look at this staining on my ring finger. That is just from chromatophore, whatever, or however you pronounce that. That is crazy staining. So next I'm gonna go into Giant Pacific, which is that dark blue I put on my eye today. I'm gonna go into Tide Pool, which is my crease shade today. And then also Ink Defense, which is the shade I have on the inner part of my lid today. Just a really cool, like light blue to purple duochrome. I really enjoy it. So those are the next 3 shades, and oh man, I'm gonna get so much staining on my hand. This is gonna be crazy. Yep. Now all 3 of my fingers are really stained. Oh God. All right, the last 3 shades are all mattes. We have Ink Blot, which is a darker, dustier kind of blue compared to Inky Torpedo, which I have worn today. I also have Pygmy, which is that matte red that I wore, and then Inky Torpedo, which is the outer corner shade that I have on today. So all of these are mattes. So there is the entire palette swatched on my hand. Overall, I think these all swatch well. I know they're gonna stain like a mother on my hand, but I've accepted that fate. I'm doing this for you. And it's okay, but I do think it's a really pretty palette. The staining doesn't last a super long time. Like the next day when I applied my makeup, I didn't really see it all that much on my eyes, the blue staining. And then like when I removed my makeup that next day, which was actually yesterday, I didn't really see it very much at all on my eyes. But like, look at my fingers, look at that staining. It's crazy, it's crazy. So yeah, the staining in here isn't great. But other than that, I really do like the palette. So that is it for my palette review of the Indigo ink palette. Overall, I do enjoy this palette despite its staining problem, but I do think it's really pretty, and I will forgive it for that sin because the looks I get are really, really pretty. So with that, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please like this video. It helps out with the YouTube algorithm, and it also helps me know what kinds of videos you like to see on my channel, because of course, I want to make the content that you want to see. And if you like me, please subscribe. I would love to have you all here. I post 2 to 3 times a week, and I just have a lot of fun with this. And if you have anything to comment down below, any questions about this palette, if you have any thoughts about this palette, any other Menagerie Cosmetics palettes that you think I should pick up, I'm looking at Black Friday here, then please let me know. I would love to get your recommendations on that. And with that, thank you for spending a little part of your day with me, and I will see you all next time. Bye!